Good morning, and thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk. This is In Case You Missed It, where we are catching you up on some stories you may have missed as we continue to cover all the things happening here in and around Metro Atlanta. I want to start with this. The three men accused, or convicted, I should say, of killing Ahmaud Arbery back in 2020, they're returning to court today to ask a judge for a new trial. A judge will hear the legal motion for 2 days. Attorneys for Arbery's killers, Greg McMichael, his son Travis McMichael, and their former neighbor William Bryan are making a range of arguments for this new trial, including claims of a tainted jury and claims of ineffective counsel for one of the men. Now, if you'll remember, back in February of 2020, 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery was jogging in a Glynn County suburb when the McMichaels and Bryan followed him, pulling their truck up next to Arbery and ultimately shooting and killing him. We'll be following this closely and let you know what comes of it on Atlanta News First and Atlanta News First Plus. And this story coming in just as we are less than 2 weeks away from the election on November 5th. If you haven't voted yet, make sure you are going out and doing so. Right now, election officials believe an overseas enemy is responsible for a cyber attack that they're following closely. Georgia's Deputy Secretary of State, his Deputy Secretary of State, Gabe Sterling, says the attack didn't compromise any election systems, but did slow things down for a bit. This comes as record early voting numbers are coming in across the state. The state's cyber defenses repelled the hackers, allowing thousands of Georgians to continue to request absentee ballots ahead of the presidential election. Now, Sterling says the cyber attack came from a foreign country against the website voters used to request absentee ballots. For all of the latest on this election, we are going to continue to follow it, but we have continuing to follow the two candidates that the nation is focused on most, the presidential candidates Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Former President Trump arriving in Georgia yesterday for two events here, delivering remarks, speaking to voters in Middle Georgia before headed to a rally in Duluth where he made a big push for votes, saying that there will be big change if he makes it back to office. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris will campaign here in Georgia today alongside former President Barack Obama. Georgia is a key swing state for both of these candidates, so they are asking for every single vote, which will count towards determining who will serve as the next president. Jared Hill has the latest.
In a CNN town hall, Vice President Kamala Harris pressed on how her presidency would move the country forward less than 2 weeks until the election. Harris responding to voter questions on inflation.
We will have a national ban on price gouging.
Immigration.
We have to have a secure border, and we have to have a comprehensive pathway for citizenship.
And the conflict in the Middle East.
I do believe we have an opportunity to end this war.
Harris also going after former President Donald Trump.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
Seizing on new comments Trump's ex-chief of staff, John Kelly, made to the New York Times.
He's certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. He has said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
He's just putting out a 911 call to the American people.
Trump brought out the fireworks in battleground Georgia.
I will protect our jobs. I will protect our borders. I will protect our families.
But his more charged comments came on social media, slamming Harris as a threat to democracy and his former chief of staff, Kelly, as a lowlife and a bad general whose advice in the White House he no longer sought. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And this is in case you missed it. So we have stories that we want to make sure that you hear about in case you missed it. And to help me do that, I have Atlanta News First morning anchor Gurveer Dinza here with me. Gurveer, how are you this morning?
You know what? I'm good. So you were on vacation last week.
Yes.
And I was on vacation part of the
We
week
missed
last
each
week
other.
and part of the week this week. So I was in my own little, you probably were too, like in your own little bubble. And you don't know what in the world's going on in the world around you. But the weather's spectacular.
I know.
It feels like summer outside. And this weekend is, of course, the big One Music Festival. But we've got some really kind of sad news for people who are maybe looking forward to Cardi B. So Cardi B announced that she is not going to be performing at the One Music Fest. here in Atlanta this weekend. She said she's had a medical emergency. Now, she's 32 years old, and she posted this on Instagram that she is currently in the hospital, and she used the word recovering. So we're not quite sure exactly what that means. She didn't explain what that was. We can tell you that she did give birth to her third child with rapper Offset last month, but unfortunately they're right now in the middle of a divorce, so we don't know if, maybe some of that is connected to this hospital stay. One Music Fest is going to be this Saturday and Sunday at Central Park. The good news is, for all of you Earth, Wind, and Fire fans, they're still going to be there. Nelly will be there, Gunna will be there, and Jill Scott are all going to perform. So that's all good, right? And the weather's going to be spectacular.
The weather's going to be great.
The weather's going to be great. And Maria, when you go on vacation, do you say, oh my gosh, if I could just win the lottery,
I could
and then
stay here.
I could just stay wherever I am.
Yep.
Everybody does that, right?
All the time.
I do the same thing. Well, guess what? If you happen to be driving down the road and you look up and you go, oh, somebody won the Powerball, because you see the signs, right? Guess what? Somebody did win the Powerball, and they're from Georgia. Can you believe it? You might want to grab that ticket because, could be you. According to the Powerball website, the winning lottery ticket was sold in Beaufort. It is
so
worth
close.
$478 million, so we're talking almost $500 million. So here are the winning numbers in case you want to check your tickets.
What would you do with $500,000? Well, not
Half
even
a million, $500 million.
$500 million.
Not work, for one thing, right? Travel? Is that what you would do?
I would travel. I would
Travel?
go see the world.
I would see the world. I would buy the most amazing horse on the planet, or 2 or 3, and maybe an amazing farm where I could have all these horses, right?
And we're supposed to say give back.
Huh?
Spread the wealth.
Spread the wealth. We're supposed to say, and we'd give back to the community. We would do that for sure, right?
Oh, man,
But-
it really is beautiful weather. I just want to, for a moment, take everybody out to this live picture at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. If you're traveling this weekend, you got some good weather to travel with. And like you mentioned, the One Music Fest still going on, despite the sad news of Cardi B's not being able to attend and make this performance, and we wish her a speedy recovery. The show will go on.
Yep.
So lots to look forward to. Thank you so much, Gravir, for helping me close out this episode of In Case You Missed It. We have a lot more coming for you on Atlanta News First Plus. Join us right here at 11:30 for Weather Where You Are.